And at last, folks, we are live here. We've got UGL Season 4 Placements Phase 1. Durag gonna be facing off against Calibrate Titans. Both of these teams up and coming, hungry for this win. Gonna be, hopefully, a banger of a match really between these two skilled, on the rise teams, to say the least. So I, for one, am excited for this. I don't know if anybody else is, but I certainly am. I'm now gonna start looking at the bands as well as just talking about the map a bit. It's in Villa, so a bit of a unique map, I'd say. The fact that we'll be here is an interesting choice. I don't normally see either of these teams playing it. I think we actually saw Calibrate Titans in their, what was that, junior varsity finals for Blizzard / the Nefariously. I think they faced Desolate on this map, but I don't exactly remember, and so I think I remember at some point seeing Durag play this map, but I'm not exactly sure, so I can't exactly say that I've seen both of these teams play on this map, but I think I have, and it's going to be an interesting clash of styles, considering that that I have not seen these two teams face off before against each other, actually, and so stereotypical bans, at least from the defending team of Durag. Mirror ban to make holding down Aviator in games a bit harder than a classic mirror setup that is essentially able to hold down itself so long as you have a player on each mirror window. And then the Ace ban to make it a bit harder to get the walls there, since that's one of the safer ways, I'd say, to get these walls, and that's probably that or Azrael bringing that Thermite. Those two are probably the common hard breachers, I'd say, on this map. But the other bans being Blitz and Malusi. I don't normally see anybody on Durag playing Blitz, so I don't know what that's about. But I'm not gonna question it too much. Otherwise, it might do something weird. Who knows? But the other ban being Malusi, and the Malusi ban is, to say the least,
defenders protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It's predictable, definitely, considering the state of Malusi, and she'll eventually get a pretty heavy nerf once they change how her Banshee works, as they mentioned that year 6 reveal. But until then, she's gonna be still an annoying operator to deal with, still can waste quite a bit of utility, but interesting to note in general is, playing the operator that I was just about to mention, is that Jackal was left unbanned by both teams, and considering that we don't see, or at least I don't remember seeing a lot of heavy roam play from either of these teams, it's interesting to see that neither of these teams would actually ban that Jackal to maybe go a bit further on that roam here. So gonna try and play it, I suppose, a bit more conservatively in that sense, and not really having any sort of heavy roam, but gonna be trying to potentially get an early nitro kill there with Jedi. Just put it away, and don't know what exactly he's looking for there, but to speak of quite a heavy hold there, you see 2 ADSs as well as a Legion Mine, some barbed wire, and a 1 Mine Magnet, all just to hold down the single Goyo shield. So Durag really wants to keep that down, and does have Goyo there, the Goyo actually of Slimy holding that down. He'll rotate one of his shields to cover the other side, actually, maybe provide a bit more balance to that hold, but there's no rotate. You normally see that rotate there, right next to the wall that he's standing by. Normally that's set into a rotate that eventually, when that hold collapses, you just fall back and reinforce it, but did not do that, and instead just gonna opt for something a bit riskier, but also a bit safer in the long run. Antified taken down there, actually, for the first kill in this match by one shot as the Sledge. So gonna be trying to continue this momentum by taking down Jedi Joe, and he does for a double kill now. Strong opening there for one shot, and now gonna try and keep the momentum going would be Azrael as the Thermite here. Gonna notice that Goyo shield there, needs to clear it out if they wanna really push forward, actually. But until then, just in a bit of a holding pattern, does burn that one Goyo shield, which would have made pushing that side there a bit dangerous. Daredap down and out thanks to Slimy. getting that kill on him on the main stairs. I don't think that that Durag was expecting that, really. 3v3 Swerve picks off one shot. Isn't that odd with the suppressor? That's an interesting twist for him. But he will be down. Falling back now, might be looking for Splimey or Lawson to pick him up. And Splimey will be going for that res to keep it out of 3v3. General are going to be scanning, actually, the Swerve as the Wamai. He just got picked up, as you saw. He's only at 20 health. 2v3, Lawson picks off General. That might start moving the gears here. About 40 seconds left. But they do have hunting. And they're going to try and get a kill here onto Lawson. But there goes another one. Splimey picking off Akuma for a double kill, if I'm remembering correctly, on the round. And now it's just Azrael against Splimey, Swerve, and Lawson. Azrael gonna look for a plant now, actually. And just gonna try and do that in a safe spot. Splimey gonna look for the swing, though, actually. He does get it, and the round will go the way of Durag. And they will take the early lead here, 1-0. Alright, and now, as you can see, gonna be going actually to, gonna be going actually to their secondary site of trophy and statuary, following what we would expect from them. It'll be Durag, a strong first round, considering that they went from a 3v5 to eventually a 3v2, just off of playing that smart, is a great way for them to really move through that, I'd say. To see that sort of play is impressive from them. And they are breaking the ward and almost brought the clash as well, but switched that to a Mozzie, but more of a stable op, I'd say. So, certainly not all that surprising to see, to say the least. And as you can tell, we'll be setting it up how we would normally see it. They don't have a Goyo, they don't have anybody with shield, so appears that they brought Jedi Joey as the warden for maybe a little pocket pick, maybe some fun plays, but didn't bring him for the shield, that's for certain. And if they wanted somebody with an SMG and a shotgun, they could have just brought Smoke, considering that Smoke isn't banned and Smoke wasn't picked. So don't know the exact MO really of Jedi Joey, but I'm sure that we'll figure out the method behind the madness soon, and it does appear that he's going to set up some impact trick rolls there for his team. Could also be turned around and turned into a frag grenade hole, but we'll have to sort of wait and see on that part of it, as you can tell. And now Calibrate is going to try and recover really from that last round where they had that 2-man advantage. They had a really strong opening minute, maybe minute and a half, and then they sort of just sputtered, I'd say, to a stop. Which is quite unfortunate to see, but alas, what are you really able to do for it outside of Titans just keeping on pushing that pedal, really keep the momentum going that they had gained. Were in a really good spot, and then it just collapsed. But all the way in the basement, actually going to rotate back to red stairs. Will be that Mozzie there, who's going to run into Azrael presumably soon. The Mozzie there of Lawson on the roam. He'll actually just continue to hold sort of red stairs, lower side of it. Don't know if he realizes how close he actually is to Azrael. He's just going to be holding an angle here, realizing this is a sort of a Mexican standoff of sorts. Spots the Mozzie, but the Mozzie spots him first, actually. Lawson picks off Azrael, and it's now 5v4. General and one shot, both lowered while they're trying to push. So, don't know exactly how, but certainly not the best way. And a thermite charge is going to go down there, and I think Durag only has one charge left. Double kill from Lawson, picking off General as well, and there goes the primary vertical player, actually, for Calibrate Titans. And now, as you can tell, Akuma going to try and get that open again, because they still have those bandit powders on them. They haven't cleared that out. Now, Durag might be looking for getting that done, and now some stun's going to go across there from one shot, but they still have the 3v3, one shot picking off Splimey as he saw Undivided being killed there by presumably Akuma. Jedi Joey gonna actually trade his teammate for one shot using the SMG-12. A sort of revered for being uncontrollable weapon. Durag killing Lawson. Swerve getting a double kill though onto Akuma and Durag, and that's the round. Durag gonna get a 2-0 lead here over Calibrate Titans. impressive work so far from Durag. Nothing, I'd say, fantastic or to write home about exactly, but it's just that they're playing smarter than Calibrate Titans. They basically denied them the wall, and that sort of shut down all of Calibrate Titans' attack. They brought them to a man disadvantage by, killing both General and the Azrael as the Jackal. So by getting that man advantage, they really secured the round. And considering that General never even got to go below the site, despite the fact that that Lawson, the only roamer, basically gave up kitchen and dining, didn't even roam anywhere near that. Considering that they had that, and presumably the Jackal of Azrael had a shotgun on him in the Eater 12S, I don't know why they didn't just go for the vertical and try and push away that Wamai, and at the very least remove those bandit batteries that were planted on the wall, which really was the sort of the deciding factor. I think if those batteries hadn't existed, I think that it would have been a lot easier for them to take that wall. But due to that, combined, I'd say, with the Wamai impact tricking it, not Wamai bandit tricking, that would be an interesting sight to behold, though. It really was what spelled the end of that round, really, when it came to actually opening up that wall. Sup, Escargot, it's Shadows. Hi, Shadows. Good to see you. The name explains all you need to know. But now, as you can tell, going to be going to their tertiary side here of dining and kitchen, and the two key parts of this are to hold down extension here into Memorial, which they're certainly doing with that mute, which is becoming an even stronger operator every single season. Every single time that they add an attacking operator, the mute becomes stronger. You see that with Flores now, and you saw that with you now see that with anybody with a Claymore or a Nomad, and we saw that with Zero as well. He's a pretty strong counter to Zero. But two Goyo shields, actually, all of the primary utility of Slimy, and he's quite low to say the least. I don't know exactly why, but it appears to be off of an engagement actually on this Astro window. But both of the Goyo shields being set up above, as well as 3 reinforcements to really slow down Titan's attack, waste their time, and Slimy down and out thanks to Akuma, just gonna turn that Goyo shield against him. And nothing he could do, really. Was just sat behind it, and that was what was the end of it, really. Didn't have anything to cover it. No ADS on it. No my magnets. Which is unfortunate, and now the man advantage will be going the way of Calibrate Titans. But I'm a bit skeptical, to say the least, at the moment. Even though this is the tertiary site of Durag. Considering that this game opened up with a 5v3 for Calibrate Titans, and Durag still managed to win that, so it's very possible that they can make a comeback here. 4v4, Jedi Joey evens it up there, taking down General Cobb. And Daredap will actually pick off Swerve to keep their man advantage going the way of Calibrate Titans. Now, over in Bike Storage, there goes Andivide, killing Daredap, trading his teammate to keep it a 3v3, actually. So this will not be a man advantage, at least not for now, favoring either side. It is just Andivide, Jedi Joey, and Lawson against one-shot Akuma and Azrael. And now a Thermite Charge is going to go down here, actually onto that Memorial wall. As you can see, just holding down that, just trying to collapse that extension here, being held by Antified at the moment. Jedi Joey down and out thanks to Akuma getting that double kill. First one being on to Slimy with the Goyo shield. Now since it just lost an Antified with about 30 seconds left to waste. They just need to keep the way that they're going, really. And Lawson lowered down and out thanks to a crossfire, with Azrael being the one to pick up the kill. It's up to just Antified here. He's off-site, and Akuma picks him off for the 3K on the round. It will be 1-2. I just got PC today. It's hard. Yeah, I've heard the most important thing when you transition is game sense. Because it's kind of hard to transition aim from PS4 to PC. And as you can see, going to be going now to Aviator Games to their primary site. And this was the site that we saw open up with a early lead for Calibrate Titans 5-3, or 5v3, pardon me. Actually, and even then, Durag managed to push through that, really, and get the round actually that way. Dion grinding 24/7, you know, that's hard
Defenders,
school.
protect
Yeah.
your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I'm just gonna chuckle and nod there.
Loading new magazine. Max it out. Dropping mag. ATS active in this sector. Razor wire is deployed. Place device.
Alright, and now, as you can see, you're gonna be going back to their primary site, as I've mentioned. Setting up similar to what we saw before, but might be switching around a bit. Namely with those Goyo shields there. Slimy will be putting down one, sort of right where you would often see potentially a bandit trick, though I don't normally expect a bandit to be tricking that wall there, that aviator wall. So, gonna try and allow somebody to anchor there a bit more safely, presumably. And then the other Goyo shield from Slimy being set up, actually, let's find it now. Play a little game of where's the Goyo shield? Forget where's Waddle, this is the new sensation. There it is. On main stairs, as we saw before, same spot actually, or just about, and Slimy will be holding that same area of main, and then technically the top of main with that Goyo shield there. You know, the big change being that one Goyo shield being moved from 90 long into the objective, and then another shield, actually, smoke shield, and smoke of Antified being placed there, just right on the pool table, gonna allow him to play up there. Might provide some extra angles, I'd say. Does have the high ground, so could beat an Anakin Skywalker to make a few jokes about it. And now gonna actually wise up and be a bit more serious. Akuma being lower there as he tries to push through 90. Nobody else actually playing in 90, but tying to the 990 just a bit would be Slimy, holding down that Goyo shield here. Still trying to deal with the Ash of Dara gap, actually pushing through Study. Now an EMP gonna go down and they're gonna look for the wall here. But there's the Womai looking for that impact trick. He's got it pulled down. Flashbang will go out. 3 flashbangs actually, and impact goes down, and he misses it. Going for a second, he hits it, and there's the air jab. He actually hits the air jab, but he doesn't have any more impacts. They don't have any more impacts at all. Swerve was their only player with a impact trick. It would be up to just Jedi, and Knights are gonna go out there, but the wall will be open. But at a pretty pricey cost, to say the least. That's Azrael's only wall that they've opened. So now they have to push through just that small corridor, and they only have a minute to do this, and they're at even numbers at the moment. And as I say, that Slimy picked off by one shot. Don't know what he was looking for. Might have been a late game flank, but seems a bit risky, and certainly had to pay for it. Amplified picks off Akumi. Jedi Joey down, but not out just yet. Likely will be finished off soon by General, because it seems unlikely that they'd be able to safely revive him. Might eye it though, certainly. General going to be holding an angle now. The Nomad there of one shot pushing forward now, trying to make his way into the objective. General lowered as he pushes into 90, as well as Azrael. They're all trying to push that 90 hallway into hunting. Double kill from one shot, picks off Lawson, and there goes the Jaeger. 3v3 though, Antified gets another kill down to Azrael. Swerve killing General. It's a 2v3 up to just one shot and Daredab. However, Jedi Joe is down, so it's truly a 2v2. 1v2, Antified will pick off one shot. Swerve getting the kill on the Daredab. That round will go the way of Durag, who are now up 1-3. And should this all go as it went the first part of this half, this should be a 4-2 split favoring Durag. Spain without the S. But yeah, it's if this goes like the way it went at first, it'll be 4-3, and then it'll be 4-3. What am I even saying? We're still in the first half of the game. You can all yell at me for that one. 4-1, and then it'll be 4-2 because of the tertiary side. But it could very well be a 5-1 split favoring the defending team. It's a possibility, and it's certainly a possibility that we could get the opposite of that and get a 3-3 tie at half, which would be very impressive, to say the least, for the attacking team, actually, of Calibrate, especially considering how the first part of this went, considering that they are now at 0-for-2 on attacking Aviator and Games, and we'll have to see if they improve to 1-on-1 or stay down at 0-2 on this side, as well as Durag will be trying to hold down Trophy and Stature once again. Going to be bringing that Actually, now bringing a smoke might have been a bit more useful, I'd say, than a warden. The warden really didn't stop any sort of smoke plants or flashbangs, and I'm kind of doubtful that the warden has impacts at the least. So they could have kept the Jaeger on site and kept the Womai either on office post or 90 instead of Goyo. I suppose that's where they're used to having Slimy as the Goyo play, so. Can't really complain. And now Slimy gonna actually hold a bullet hole onto Master 4v5. The Jedi Joey gonna pick off one shot with a Nitro. And there goes the Nomad. As well as Akuma being lowered half of his health. Thanks to that. Gonna look for a second potentially. Spotting Akuma, likely spotting Daredap as well. And gonna deal with essentially the brunt here of Calibrate Titans. Taking down another drone, but will get taken down in exchange by Daredap. It's now a 44, but they lost a pretty important operator in one shot. Losing that much active utility, losing that flank watch, is gonna make the job of any other roamers, namely the roamer there, the Jaeger of Owo Lawson, is gonna make his job a lot easier because they're gonna have to rely on claymores, which they don't have any, or flank drones, which they have. They're starting to run low on drones. 4v3, the General takes down Lawson, and there goes the other roamer shut down as I was contemplating whether or not he would go to flank. I suppose figuring out what I was thinking, and does manage to deny it, as it's now a man advantage favoring Calibrate Titans, and they could certainly win this round considering that they now have that man advantage. And as we saw on the tertiary side here for Durag, which was first floor, once they got that man advantage, they seem to be in control really. Now Daredap will be trying to remove those bandit batteries, just take down one. Looking for a second now. Don't know exactly how they're doing it. Likely it's just a drone that they've replaced in there. And now the thermite there of Azrael being lowered actually by Swerve. He's just holding down Master here with that AUG. Trying to bait out a few bullets and trying to deal some damage. And he certainly did to Azrael. He's at less than 1 bar now. Likely at about 20 health. If I had to make a guesstimate. And now Swerve just holding an angle here with about a minute left. Just under actually. Just holding that down. He doesn't have any utility on him. But he does have 2 impacts and he has a gun. So, not nothing, but not everything. And, gonna also have to deal with some potential pressure from Azrael. Might try and cut off his rotate out. He's gonna now try and actually flash, considering that the Ash there of Daredap doesn't have any more flashbangs. Got switched out for a breaching charge. No, not a breaching charge, a Claymore. Pardon me. And Swerve gonna actually fall back just into Master, so not that much ground gain. In general, getting a double kill into Antified. It's now 4v2, 3v2 actually. Swerve takes down Azrael, but the diffuser is down, and the wall has been open. Slimy picking off General as the smoke. About 15 seconds left, and the diffuser has been picked up once again by Akuma. They're looking for the plant in the default. I don't know if Swerve has realized it. He can go and stop the plant. Daredap isn't watching it. Plant is stuck, and Daredap gets it back in time just to cover him. Or just in time to cover him. Slimy gonna turn the corner right into the eyes of Daredap, and the bullets of Daredap will meet Slimy for a shallow grave. It'll now be 2-3. Calibrate Titans still down here, but on the way up really. They are in a good position now. They've managed to regain some momentum to recover really after these past few rounds, and they're now going to be going against a site that they've already won once, so could very well go to 2-0 and attacking this site would be Calibrate Titans, and so it's a possibility. It's just going to be dependent on how well they do at getting the man advantage and clearing out the above, which they were very effective on in the first round. They managed to get an early lead just because Slimy was caught, I suppose he might have been dozing off just behind his Goyo shield, and Akuma just opened that up in short order, so made it just very much light work for thereon, because there's no real way for them to recover from that, even if they tried. And at one point they did get close. They brought it down to what's the word? The 3v3. There we go. But after that, it was just there's nothing else they could do. They tried their best, but they didn't succeed, and so the round went the way of Calibrate Titans. And as you can tell, I'm gonna be just trying to push forward here. Gonna be trying to keep on rolling. Would be Calibrate Titans, and now try and push from. Actually, spread themselves out a bit. Doesn't look like they're gonna be doing a single push, but they might be going for something similar to a sort of roam clear from across the top floor with Durag and Akuma. I might be wrong on that, but the vigil there of Jenna Joey almost looking for that spawn peek, but will back away a bit from it. And they're going to be pushing actually to somewhere else. And as you can see, Azrael moving on now, going to be trying to figure out where they all are. Jenna Joey just sitting himself right in the middle of Master, using that ERC-7 to deny some intel, make it a bit harder for them to know where exactly he is, make it take just a bit longer as well to deal with him, and gonna get some flashes thrown at him, but ignores them and does actually get just destroyed there by one shot. Flattened, and Lawson actually gonna trade its teammate away for a 4v4. And I think that one shot dying is the more important pick, because that's gonna remove the Nomad once again. And it appears that he didn't get a single air jab down. Durag getting a trade for his teammate, and the round man advantage. And potentially the sort of influence on the round will go the way of Calibrate Titans, considering that they now have this 4v3 situation once again. They're in a very good spot once again. And admittedly, it took them a bit more bodies, and it took them losing one shot, who's their only real flank watch, to get that, outside of, flank drones, which would also work very effectively. It took them that for them to get this down, and now Breaching Charge is going to go down from above, as well as a Thermite Charge to collapse that Memorial Rotate. And now, speaking of rotating, Swerve down, rotation there from the Legion, actually, of Antified, as Daredab picks him off. But Antified will kill Azrael, and actually down the Diffuser. It's up to just Slimy and Antified against Daredab, Akuma, and General. The three, I suppose, more fragging operators. The two supports gone now, but it's up to just these three to pull it out. And there goes Akuma with a kill on a Slimy. He's been a consistent force for his team here for Calibrate Titans. It's now to just Antified. Does get droned out. He doesn't have the ERC to protect him. Taking down another drone, and Akuma gonna swing that, spots him and takes him down. It'll be a 3-3 tie at half here for Calibrate Titans, and a strong recovery for them. Alright, and now I'm going to check the scoreboards very quickly at halftime. Leading his team with 7 kills to be Daredab, 1 shot, and Akuma tied behind him with 6 on the side of Calibrate Titans. On the side of Durag, Swerve leading his team with 6 kills, 5, then 4, then actually 3 in order of Antified, and then Lawson and Slimy, and then Jedi Joey. So, which I appreciate, and just sort of satisfied me. And now going to be going to their primary site once again. Of actually, both of these teams going to share a primary site in common. Aviator and Games, not surprised. This is for many teams their primary site. It's considered the strongest site on this map to hold, though. I've seen many a team that likes to go over to the sort of northern side of the map and go to either Trophy or even Kitchen and Dining for their first site. So there's certainly some uniqueness to each team in terms of order on this site, on this map, pardon me. 280 says no magnets, at least so far, going to be covering that Goyo shield, and it's around the same spot, but on a different side now, or more on the side actually of the table there. And sometimes you even see a Banshee actually on that table. So instead of going to be just leaving that alone, they didn't bring in a Melusi, and the Melusi was banned, so no Banshees here. And instead, just going to be trying to hold that down will be actually the Goyo there of Astra, similar to what we saw from Slimy as Goyo. We'll be holding that down. I think, I might be wrong, but I think at one point there was a smoke holding that off? But I might be wrong on that. I've certainly seen smokes holding the Goyo shield there, or just a shield there. 3v5 though. Jedi Joey going to frag out both Daredab and General Cub. And I have, oh my god, they were both in the same spot. Oh no. Oh, that was such easy pickings for Jedi Joey, and they didn't even realize that they were being droned out like that. They were 2 free kills, and it's now a 5v3 the other way around. Now, The bottom pellet's going to go down there from Slime. He only has 6 left, so he's used quite a few of his. And the Goyo shield down the top of the main being going to be collapsed as, don't know exactly how, but appears to be just taken down there by the Nomad, actually, of Lawson. Thermite charge will go down there on that game's wall. Azrael lowered, not out just yet, but is certainly at a dangerously low position. Swerve going to take some damage as well. And now you will be finished off for 2v5 by Slimy. 1v5 anti-5 kills, 1 shot. Akuma, however, going to nitro away Swerve, and Jedi Joey getting the 3k on the round, killing Akuma. It is now 4-3, and Durag will take the lead here. And a bit of the tables turning, I'd say, in terms of how this went. When we first started, the then attacking team of Calibrate Titans got a 5v3 situation, admittedly not through a sledge throwing a frag grenade at 2 people sitting on top of each other, almost, but still. And then the defending team managed to come back, and as we just saw, the opposite happened, or nearly the opposite happened, as the attacking team still got that 5v3 advantage, but they actually switched that, or they actually kept the momentum going and turned it actually ultimately into a 1 versus all situation. So not really the way that they wanted that to go, but that is the way that it went for Calibrate Titans, and now they will be down here around it. They did end up actually having that opening advantage, and now they're going to have an opening disadvantage at the beginning of this next half. As you can see, just going to be trying to set up the site here, and Chad, we're going to be using an impact on that rotate, and I understand that they did have a shotgun. Akuma had a shotgun, and yeah, they're still going to impact that. That's a small gaff, but they still have 1 shot, as well as 1 impact left in general, so, you know, not the end of the world, but I don't think that's the smartest choice for Titans to make in terms of remodeling, I'd say, the site. Exactly. As you can see, and now, as you can tell, just gonna be trying to hold down the site as we saw before. Almost went for an extension. They had the possibility. They do have a Goyo. They have shields for it. They don't have a castle though, so they can't exactly do it. At least not safely, not like you would normally see it. But they do have an interesting setup here. I haven't seen this before. They have 2 Goyo shields stacked close to each other, quite, and Azrael in the middle making a sandwich with a mute jammer and 2 ADSs on top of him to cover him, so he will hopefully be protected. But you know, if he dies, especially if one of the Goyos gets shot, that's essentially all that utility is gone. Certainly the 2 ADSs on him are gone, as well as the mute jammer. If that Goyo shield on the master side, which is the more likely one to get exploded, is gone. But so he needs to play it a bit more aggressively, and he certainly seems to be trying to do that, considering that he's going to be looking through one of the slats there to try and spot somebody, hearing a rappel, but there's nobody there. Now, ADS going to be burning, as well as some mod magnets, burning out some utility, and that's one's on cooldown, and wow, there goes both of them. Like I was thinking it was going to happen, they're both gone. And it only took them, what? Let me see. A frag grenade and then 3 flashbangs. So, really not all that much for them to worry about, but did clear out a lot of utility in just 1 go, and almost took down Azrael. Azrael, being smart, did avoid that. Flashbang's gonna go out, and as well as a frag grenade to lower him. And now wall will be open. No impact trick from Calibrate Titans. It'll now be a 4v5 though. Lawson taking off General Dub with the Legion. He did die later in the round, so not the end of the world. Jedi Joey killing Durag. However, Azrael going to trade for his teammate. 2v4, and Lawson killing Akuma for a double kill on the round. It's up to just 1 shot. And Azrael trying to hold down Astro. 1 shot as well. 2 of them just trying to do what they can, really. Azrael rotating at a trophy, just crawling in there. 1 shot will try and kill Antify, but getting a 3k would be Lawson. Now Azrael will kill Slimy, but it's a 1v3. His chances of winning this are slim, and there goes Antified, shuts him down for the round. It'll now be 5-3, and Durag is breaking away here. some interesting plays here from Calibrate Titans, and they're now going to try and recover as they return to their first sight of Aviator in games, which is what we saw them open on. They're now going to try and hopefully get this right for a 4-5, still down, but going to recover a bit, I'd say. And this is a bit reminiscent of what we saw to open up the beginning of this game with Durag after the one round that went the way of Calibrate Titans. No, actually, Durag getting that early lead, yeah. They got up 2 rounds, and then Calibrate Titans got a round, and then they got another round. So it could be a 7-4 if this goes similar to what we saw in the opposite halves for these two teams. But that seems a bit unlikely considering how this game has sort of changed. And at the beginning, the two teams were a bit feeling each other out, trying to figure out how they want to roll this. But now they've sort of settled down. They've figured out how they need to play it, and it certainly seems like Durag has the number really of Calibrate Titans, and they've been able to really snub them ever since they got into attack. And admittedly, you don't think that would happen considering that they are the attacking team. But it's not what exactly happened. And Lawson as the Nomad, it seems to be the center point of that, really. Has been consistently getting kills, and also he's the Nomad. He's usually the self-support. He's the one that they're usually expecting to sort of back everything up. And Goyo there, actually, of Azrael getting a bit spooked by just simple flashbang. I mean, there's only one ADS on him, and I don't think that it was even burnt by the flashbang, but heard it, thought that there was going to be something next coming up, but even then, the ADS wasn't burnt, so couldn't really deal with anything with that. Flashbang, frag grenade, pardon me, from below by Jedi Joe. He does take down that Goyo shield. Now, Antified will be picked up by Durag, and that might be its shift in the tides here for Calibrate Titans, and in a good way as well, considering that they're now in a 5v4 situation. And now Lawson is actually going to get frost matted. One shot brought the frost, and I don't think they were even expecting to actually get a frost mat kill, but they did at least down Lawson. And now gonna try and get a bit more aggro. At least would be Akuma, and now Lawson looking to be picked up actually by his teammate, and that would be Thermite as Swerve picks him off, and now Durag taken down there by Slimy to even it up actually. Now, going below would be Slimy with that skeleton key. Is lowered a bit, don't know exactly how, but he's managing to make Calibrate Titans a bit uncomfortable, forcing General up onto that bar to just avoid getting hit from below with the shotgun. And now, trying to push forward there, be lost, and he's only at 20 health though, so he needs to be a bit careful. And that thermite charge is still jammed, as you may notice, and it's still jammed. Yep, they need to send somebody below. Jedi Joey. He doesn't have any frag grenades though. Slimy mainly to destroy that mute jammer and get them the wall, really. He needs to actually go on to the other side of that hallway and deal with it. Akuma picked off there by Jedi Joe, and they finally get the wall open. That might push everything into motion. Azrael kills Jedi Joe to trade his teammate. It's now 3v3 here, and health will be favoring the side of Calibrate Titans, but they have a massive hole in the middle of non-Aviator games due to that study wall there, and that's going to make it a bit harder for them to hold down that Aviator side, not even Aviator, I'm saying the other side, the game side, considering that the other way for them to really do that is one shot, picking off Lawson, finally finishing off what we saw with the frost mat. Just get the double kill down to Swerve, instead of just Slimy in a 1v3, gonna look to clutch it up, but he only has 15 seconds left. He doesn't have any other walls, he doesn't have a lot of time, he doesn't have intel, pushes in, but one shot getting the 3k on the round. It will go the way of Calibrate Titans, who are now down still, but a lot closer now, 4-5. And now, gonna go to dining and kitchen. They do have the option to go to trophy and statuary, but that was an ugly round to say the least for them. And Jedi Joey gonna be spicing it up once again. We saw that from one shot with the frost. Now Jedi Joey might be going for it with the fuse. Does switch around to the sledge, so forget that I said that. But that certainly would have been fun to see a couple cluster charges. You know, maybe a couple of hockey pucks go out.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
New camera feed up and running.
Alright, and now gonna try and hold down dining and kitchen. Has brought that castle there and gonna be doing something that we haven't really seen before. They're gonna try and extend themselves actually into sort of these back stairs here, but you don't see that every day, and I don't think that that's gonna be very smart, considering that there's no doorway for them to lock off to keep that secure. They might have locked off this door right here, this one at the top of the back stairs, but that might cover the rotate, but that's not cover the stairs. So they need to have somebody watching those stairs. Otherwise, if a member of Durag realizes that, or if Durag as a whole realizes that, they could just send somebody up, and then it's literally free access to site. And now, Calibrate going to realize that as they send Azrael down there to go on the roam. He's actually going to ignore that completely and go all the way up to the top floor. Decided to take the long way around, I suppose. And now, almost encountering the Hibana, actually, of Slimy, but does not actually, so will be instead just playing 90, and I don't think that it'll be cleared out, at least not yet, considering that there's nobody else holding the above. They do have presumably Valkyrie cams set up by Durag to watch that, and as you can see, they have one cam on site, but they have two above, actually, to hopefully throw a Nitro or two up there, and Jedi Joey picks off General to remove, actually, the castle below, and there's nobody else below, so they could actually, yeah, there is no one else below. They could easily take that backstairs extension here, and that could really backfire on them if Durag realizes that that's what they did, actually. So it's just it's like they've loaded a gun and they're waiting for it to go off at this point. I don't know if Durag has realized that they could just pull the trigger at this point. And now Antified does spot Durag and makes him pay for that silly play. Oh, Lawson finishes him off. Hibana pellet's going to go down as well as a breaching charge. And then I'm going to try and open up the objective here. But one shot and Akuma both on site with Nitro, so they very well could have tried to deny vertical using some Nitro cells. As I'm rooting for Durag. Okay. Akuma picks off Jedi Joey to almost even up, but it's still a 3v3 actually, as I say that, one shot taking down Antified. And now 2v3, Slimy trades his teammate a 4-1 shot. I think he still had a Nitro on him, so bit of a gain there. And now it is just up to Akuma, actually, as Lawson getting a double kill down to Azrael. 1v2, he picks off Slimy with a nicely placed Nitro. And it's up to just Lawson and Swerve here. They do outnumber him. They do have quite a bit of time. They do have the diffuser. But they don't exactly know where Akuma is. And Akuma, realizing that they're pushing China side because of that castle barricade, that they have to knife. I think it's been muted, though I might be wrong on that. It was not muted. So they could have just put a counter. They could have put a thermite charge on it, which would have been funny, but I don't think it would have been very effective. And gonna now just try and do what they can, I'd say, to push through. About 20 seconds left, so it does drone him out. Akuma now watching all the angles, but might be pincered here by Durag as Lawson pushes forward. Swerve looking for the plant. Lawson gonna cover, does lower Akuma, scaring him away from Swerve as he sticks the plant, and does take down Akuma. It is now 4-6. 6-4 lead for Durag as they're at match point here. And they put quite a bind, I'd say, on to Calibrate Titans. Titans now have only this site or trophy and statuary to go to. That's their only options, and they have to win 2 rounds now, one of which has to be on one of these sites to bring themselves into overtime. So they're in a difficult spot considering how this has been going for Durag, but it is certainly possible that they could recover here. And now, as you can see, gonna try and push forward now will be, and try and keep going, I think is the better way to put it, would be Calibrate Titans. Frost going to be brought by 1 shot again. He did get a down onto Lawson, did not finish it off. Admittedly, he didn't know, no points notifications. All I got is a sound cue, potentially. So nothing they could really do about it, but still did bring down Lawson to 20 health, so made it a lot easier for them. And Lawson, speaking of the devil, wanted to use that saying, and so I'm going to use it. Lawson is actually at almost a 2.0 KD, going 10-6, so cue the little applause for him, golf claps or whatever, however you want to do it. But now going to try and hold down the top floor here. This site of Trophy and Statuary will be Calibrate Titans. We'll have to see how they decide to do it, but they're looking to do something similar to what we saw before from them. One shot going to put down some frost mats here, and I'm presuming that at this point, at least Lawson is a bit more on edge, considering that that now he knows that they're not kidding around with that frost. They're not gonna just, you know, oh, frost, and then switch off of it. They're genuinely picking frost. And frost just putting one right around where there might be a mirror or something. I don't know what that exactly is for, but putting them in almost plain sight, I'd say. Aside of potentially if somebody just, you know, runs or is very oblivious. We'll be holding down the bathtub actually in Master Bathroom as a Master Push going to come out here from not Calibrate Titans, Durag. Calibrate Titans is enemy at the moment. And General's holding down that Goya Shield once again. Just have the same setup, it appears. The Mute Jammer and the two Goya Shields. So, certainly could deal with that in quick order as they did before. Darenap picking off Antified and gets rid of the IQ, so it will be harder for them to get any sort of Mute Jammers on that wall. Which there is one. I don't think that it covers the all three panels though. And Jedi Joey trading his teammate away. So, does end up trading him. And only lost Antified, so not the end of the world for them. Did not lose Splimey, nor did they lose Swerve, but gonna lose one shot would be Jedi Joey. Takes him away from the lineup, from the ranks, I'd say, of Calibrate Titans, and now that air jab going to be actually muted, as you see, setting off some static, as per usual. In general, just pulling that down, lost him down, not just yet, but it could very well be a 3v3 now, and that wall will be open there, the wall between Trophy and Master. Lawson actually in the frost mat again, 2 times in a row where he's been frost matted. I'm sure he's got to be just hitting himself for that one. 3K from Jedi Joey, might be looking for a 4th now. It's a 2v4. He's going to push forward now and into Statuary. Looking for another one. Doesn't realize General's actually in Master. And he does take down Jedi Joey. It's a 2v3 now. It is almost even manpower here. General down and out thanks to Swerve. It's up to just Azrael. The entire game rests on his shoulders. And Omo takes that head right off of the shoulders. Hits him right in the head and wins the game there for Durag. 7-4 over Calibrate Titans. Strong showing for Durag, and Calibrate Titans certainly put up a fight, but unfortunately it was not enough to beat Durag.
GG.
Good game, guys.
GG. Good game. GG.